Good day to you, it's Walt. I'm back with more single issue reviews. It's the stack that I got yesterday together with Fantastic Four. Number one, I reviewed Fantastic Four yesterday already, so there's an extra video. A special kind of semi-nude Walt reviewing a not so Fantastic Four number one. So yeah, check it out. Let me know what you think about it. I was very excited about it. Very excited, and that's probably the reason that it felt as such a letdown in the end. But yeah, let's continue with more stuff. I will start with DC Comics. We have Detective Comics number 986. It's continuing the very good run by Mr. Brian Hill, great author. He quickly became one of my favorite ones. Solely through this run, I've read some top cover work by him, but this year it's on another level. It's super entertaining, fast paced, and yeah, it's about Karma, a new villain, a new Batman villain who, of course, wants to destroy him. And but he's going the route of A Lonely Place of Dying. He's going the route of attacking his proteges and making him aware that his proteges are making him weak. And he wants to somehow make Batman into the badass that ruined his life. Yeah, sounds contradictory, but this is what makes it interesting. The character work is very well done. The art is okay. It's doing the job. But yeah, the writing is really where this excels at. And this was somehow a first climax, a first confrontation between Batman and Karma. And yeah, it was really good. And I really hope that Brian Hill will return to Detective or some other Batman title. He seems really a perfect fit for this kind of book. Next up, Red Hood and the Outlaws, number 25. It's a $5 book, and it was cool. It was another climax this week. Very splashy art again by Mr. Soy. I forgot his first name. But yeah, really, it's good art. Dexter Soy. It's really moody. It's a lot of action in this climax. It's basically the confrontation between Red Hood, who killed someone, and Batman, who is really not very happy about it. And he confronts his protege, and there is a big fight going on. And yeah, also all kinds of relationship things are cleared up here, or are teased at towards the end, which makes it for a really good read. I think this is one of DC's strongest ongoing books right now. Yes, it's not a lot of content. It's very fast paced and a lot of full page spreads and stuff like that. But I don't mind because it's a fun read. And there's a really cool bit at the end. I don't totally get it. It's like a meta kind of thing where someone is reading an Outlaws comic. I don't know if it's a hint for the future that the Outlaws will be expanded. But I love the art by Phil Hester in those last few pages. Really cool. And I think there's something here that I don't get. There's a lady reading this, and then a guy shows up with three faces. And I think like every DC reader is like, oh my god. And I'm like, who is this? Who is this guy? But yeah, I was still very teased. And I will get the annual, which comes out in 3 weeks. And of course, I will stay on board with this title. Next up, Hawkman number 3. It's a really cool adventure book written by Rob Venditti and drawn fantastically by Brian Hitch. No surprise there. He's one of the best in the field. And this book has a very mythological feel about it. They really play this out with hieroglyphs and Egyptian gods and a cycle of reincarnations and all kinds of very mythological, esoterical stuff, which I enjoy very much. The storytelling is a bit running in circles by now. I would love for the story to advance a bit more, but yeah, it's super pretty to look at. And like I said, this whole Greek myth the feeling of a Greek myth that it's having is really fascinating for me. I love the Greek mythology, and yeah, it's cool. It's a fun book, really well drawn, and very mysterious. Like it. Okay, let's move to Marvel. I only have one book because, like I told you, Fantastic Four I already did yesterday. So if you want to hear my thoughts on it, go and watch the video. And I also got Cosmic Ghost Rider, though I didn't completely enjoy the first issue. It was fun. I called it cocky, and there's this energy that Donny Cates emanates right now. It's his breakthrough, and there's this feeling of sky's the limit, which is cool because a lot of Marvel comics are quite bland nowadays, and this has a lot of energy and crazy ideas and some funny lines, some not so funny ones which were intended to be funny, but again, it's really cool art. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed to look at it more than reading it. And then there is, again, little spoiler towards the end, like those guys show up, a version of the Guardians of the Galaxy. This whole versionitis that is going on at Marvel right now, like in every book, different versions of the same Marvel characters from different parallel dimensions are showing up all the time. It's insane. Like the Cosmic Ghost Rider in himself is like an alternate version of a very well-known Marvel character. So this is a real problem that Marvel is dealing with right now, that they're doing, and for a few years already, and they haven't stopped it, that they're not creating new characters, but they're like flipping the old ones into 1,000 different directions and possibilities, and Old Man Logan and Old Man Hawkeye, and it's getting tiring and boring. Okay, let's continue with indie comics, and I had quite a bunch of indie comics this week, and a few really good ones. One of them was Sword Daughter by Brian Wood and Meg Chatter on art, and it was again a beauty to look at, of course. Yes, it is a $5 book. Normally I don't spend that much money on one comic, but this is really worth it. Just look at this art. It's so moody, and it really stayed with me. I mean, you could argue that there is not a lot of story in each chapter, but strangely enough, it has much more staying power than a lot of, stupid dialogue which doesn't give you anything. It's still a family story. Father and daughter who are estranged over a thing which happened in the past, namely the killing of their mother, of her mother, the girl's mother. And they try to reconnect. And then there's a really clever bit of, I don't want to spoil it for you, a clever bit of storytelling in here, which I enjoyed very much. And it's a great series. I love it. Her Infernal Descent by Lonnie Nadler, Zach Thompson, and Kyle Charles. It's number 4 out of 5. I talked about it the last time. Not much has changed. So it's the Divine Comedy by Dante, doing very heavily inspired by Dante, and it's still not really working for me. There's a lot of redundant dialogue, and I still haven't find the unique take that they're having with this one of those, you know, humanity's greatest tales. I don't know why you should read it in this version. I can't really recommend it. Let's see how it wraps up, but with only one issue to go, this was only so-so. Well, not even that, if I'm frank. Next up is Black Badge, which I really enjoyed. It's the new book by Matt Kindt and Tyler Jenkins. They did Grass Kings together, of which I've only read the first issue, and I really liked it, but I wasn't sure if I will get, I should get it monthly, and I waited for the trade, and then the trade was a hardcover, which was super expensive. And this could happen here too, because as much as I enjoyed it, I wasn't like super psyched about it. I was intrigued, and I really liked the art and the whole package, you know, cardstock cover and everything. It's really cool. And well, one of the facts that I like best about it is that it's not supernatural. It's just yeah, a bunch of young men doing something which you wouldn't expect from them. And yeah, it's really well done. It's Boy Scouts done differently, and it's Boy Scouts meets Mind Management. If you've read Mind Management, they have a special task. We don't know about it yet, but there's some stuff hinted at, and yeah, it was fun. RoboCop number 5, Citizen's Arrest, a miniseries by Brian Wood and Jorge Coelho. I've talked about it a lot already, so just let me tell you that it was a satisfying wrap-up. Not the strongest of the 5 issues, but it felt more like an epilogue, but still well done, great art, clever storytelling. I really like this miniseries. Next up are 2 books by Alterna-Comics, which you might have heard of them. They release comics in this newsstand, cheap paper, and also cheap cover price format. It's only $1.50 for regular books, and an oversized book is $2, which is incredible. This was an anthology. I won't go deep into it. There was one story which was really strong, and a few others which were decent, but you know, for $2, you can't complain. It's a nice way to discover new talent, and this was a really well done sci-fi story. Not super spectacular, but well told, capably drawn and colored. So this looked very professional, not amateurish at all, and I'm intrigued to find out more about it, so I will probably continue reading it. It's cool. Then we have Howard Chaykin's new book at Image, Hey Kids Comics. So the idea is, which is a great idea, let's tell stories about the comic industry, not just set in the comics industry, but about the creators, about the, you know, the backstage stuff that went on, all the scandals, all the dirty laundry. Problem is, so I think this is a fantastic idea. Like Hollywood is doing films about their best days all the time, so why shouldn't comics cover their own history more? Problem is that there are a lot of characters in here, and it's a Howard Chaykin problem where every character speaks and looks the same. It's a bit difficult to follow. It's also like fragmented in different time periods, and I just couldn't follow it properly, and I didn't get what it is about. I mean, yes, they're creators and they're bitching about stuff all the time, but so what is it about? I don't know. Leviathan is, well, basically a Godzilla book, which has some fun art by Nick Pitara. It's written by John Layman of Chew fame, and yeah, it has this crazy cartoonish but with a strong indie feel art and very bright colors. It was decent. It looked fun. It read fun, but again, I didn't feel that I have to continue reading it. But if you're into kaijus and Godzilla and all this stuff, this is a nice take on it. And we'll finish up with this one here, which was the strongest book this week, the pick of the week. It's a Hot Lunch Special by Elliot Rahal and Jorge Fornes. I'm not sure I've read Elliot Rahal before, but Jorge Fornes did Magnus with Kyle Higgins last year, one of my favorite books of the last year, and this year was fantastic. It's a mafia kind of book. It's about Lebanese clans in the, well, let's put it like food industry, and 3 generations of people who have to deal with it. It's kind of a Sopranos kind of book, and I loved it. The art is fantastic, very moody. Yes, there are a lot of characters in here, but it really helps that the artist knows what he's doing and they're easily recognizable. Everyone has his traits. They look differently, you know. It's not like this very standard copy-paste kind of artwork. It's very, very strong. There is an A plot, a B plot, a C plot, and a D plot in here. So a lot of story, a lot of content, and I'm eager to continue reading this. I will get this in monthly format, and so should you. Please check it out. It's very good. And that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I would love to hear your thoughts on the stuff that I reviewed. I would love to hear your thoughts on stuff that I haven't reviewed because I don't know about it yet. And you can leave comments here, or you can go over to Twitter. @WaltSpeaks is my Twitter handle, and I would love to hear from you. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.